Hey, good people. So today we're going to be answering the question, are online marriages valid for immigration purposes? Okay. So online marriages, as opposed to traditional marriages, you kind of have to jump an extra hoop for you to prove the two things that are required to prove in a marriage for you to get a green card. So first thing is you have to prove that the marriage is valid, is legally valid. And number two, you have to prove that the marriage is bona fide. It's a legitimate marriage. Okay. So online marriages often referred to as proxy or virtual marriages. They often happen because, there's long distance involved. Between the couples. And so unlike a traditional wedding where everybody is present, the officiant is present, and you have tons of people attending your marriage, and you have guests, you have people who are there who can prove that, this wedding happened, this wedding is legitimate, and you have so many things that are going on, on site. Everybody is together. So that makes it easier for a traditional wedding for you to be able to, put your evidence together to be able to support those two reasons. To support that, your marriage is legally, is legally valid, and B, your marriage is bona fide. Okay. So for online marriages, the first point that you have to prove is that your marriage is legally valid. Okay. So what USCIS says that the marriage is legally valid if it's legally valid in the jurisdiction that it was performed. Okay. So this applies a little bit different for online marriages because, so the marriage happens and, and the people are not together. It's like they're probably in different continents. They're not together. The marriage is happening over Zoom. It's happening over whatever video conferencing that you guys decide to use. And so for you to prove that the marriage is legally valid, you have to go through some extra hoops. Okay. So one of the things to realize is that not every state in the US allows online virtual proxy marriages. Okay. So some states say that it's not valid, that if you do an online marriage, it's not valid in the states. And it's only during the pandemic season where, there were travel restrictions and people could not travel from one place to the next, that some states extended some grace to allow for, proxy virtual online marriages to be legal. But a lot of those states have, they've closed up those loopholes, and now it's back to, you can only do traditional weddings. And so you kind of have to know, make sure that the jurisdiction that you do your marriage, that it allows for online marriages. So right now, Utah is the only state in the US that allows an all virtual marriage. So that means, you're all virtual. You're all in different places. And as long as you're together there, whether on Zoom in the same place, then, Utah recognizes that as a valid legal marriage. Okay. Colorado allows online marriages, but I think it's different because I think you have to be there together, you have to be there together at some point for you to get the marriage license. Okay. But, so consult legal advice to be able to make sure that where you do your marriage, because this is very important. Because the jurisdiction that you decide to do your marriage should be legal for your marriage to be legal, for you to meet the first step, which is very important. The other hoop that you have to jump for virtual online marriages is not only does your marriage have to be legal in the jurisdiction you perform it, but also you have to consummate the marriage. Okay. So it's not enough just to get married, but you also have to show proof that the marriage was consummated. That means you actually have to have sexual relations for that marriage to be legally valid. Okay. You have to be together as a husband and a wife. You have to consummate the marriage for it to be legally valid. This is the additional extra step, for online marriages, is you have to make sure that you consummated that marriage. Otherwise, it's not valid. It's not legal. Okay. So how do you show that how do you show that your marriage was consummated after doing the online marriage? So at some point after doing the online marriage, the virtual, the proxy marriage, you actually have to get together after the marriage, for the marriage to be legally valid. And so you have to be together. You have to come together physically for you to complete that step. So how do you show that the marriage has been consummated, that you guys have gotten together and you've done the good stuff together? So hotel invoices, plane tickets, pictures of you together in the same room, in the same place, after the marriage. So this is not like it's not premarital. So premarital, if you slept together premarital, this doesn't count. This only counts after you've done your online marriage to seal the deal, to legalize the marriage. You actually have to be physical and intimate with your partner, and so you have to prove that. So there's a documentary proof whether you were there, but there's also the personal proof. You can ask your landlord to give an account. Oh, these people stay together. Probably not the graphic stuff. Don't tell your landlord to say that that he hears this loud screams and noises coming from your room when you're doing the thing. It's not that. It's just that that he's seen a physical account. And yourselves too, you can write, you can say, you can do an affidavit and say we've consummated the marriage. But also friends and people around. It's like all the if you have bills together, if you share apartment, all the agreements, the contracts, everything together to show proof that the marriage has been consummated. You've gotten together, and so you have to actually get together after the online marriage for your marriage to be legally valid. Okay, and then just for the bona fide, for the legitimacy of the marriage, of the relationship, you have to realize that marriage is not just a piece of paper. That it's more than that. It's the additional things, the additional proof that you have to bring to the table to prove that your marriage is, that you're not just doing it for getting immigration benefits, but you're doing it because you love each other, and you're doing it, you're getting together in love, and your marriage is is bona fide, is legitimate. And so all that proof, whether it's photos or things that you own together, all those proof, you bring it together when you are filing for your when you're filing for a green card for your spouse. So yeah, you file your I-130, you petition your spouse to come over to the US. And so during that process, that's when you have to make sure that all that proof, you send it in together with your with your application. Hopefully that is helpful to you. So for someone who may ask, so you can either do it, there are platforms that offer people a way to do online marriages. Okay, and one of those platforms, I think, is Married from Home. I think it's called Married from Home, marryfromhome.com. Marryfromhome.com is a platform that can help you conduct the wedding, make sure that you get everything that you need, you're in the right place, you get your marriage certificates and all that stuff. So I think they'll help you. It's you can go online and check marryfromhome.com, and maybe you can do your marriage there. But hopefully I have answered your question. And so yeah, online marriages, they can be legal for U.S. immigration purposes, but you have to make sure that you dot your I's and you cross your T's, because there's an additional complexity that comes in when you decide to do an online marriage as opposed to doing a real traditional marriage. Okay, hopefully that was helpful to you, and let me know if you have any questions. Let me know if I missed anything, any clarifications that you need. Ask any questions, leave your comments, leave your likes, and if you haven't subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe. Thank you so much, and God bless you. All right.